Voy a empezar. All right, so let's make a formal introduction for our listener. Good morning, Esteban. My name is Claudio. I'm calling you from Washington, D.C., from the studios in Fairfax City. We're very humble and grateful that Esteban Sehinkman accepted our invitation to our show. Esteban, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks a lot, Claudio. It's a pleasure to be here.
No problem,
This
man.
conversation with you.
It's same here, man. So, with the pandemic, we live in crazy time for now over a year or so where it's difficult to go out. Some people have received the vaccine, some people they don't want to accept the vaccine. And as a touring musician like yourself, it's hard to do gigs and shows. How the pandemic is affecting your life, your creativity, your inability to do shows, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I suppose it's a big change for everybody. I see the same situation all over the world. The musicians, it's like we are facing similar situations everywhere. And for me, this break was kind of positive,
Yep.
because I had the chance to develop and to improve my home studio. And I have to tell you that I'm working here and I'm enjoying the experience. So, and I'm doing a lot of collaborations with other musicians, maybe more than before.
Yeah.
And well, I miss the gigs and gigging around and all that stuff. But I think that this is a good time. It's a good time to go to different places. I'm practicing, developing my sound. So for the crisis, there is always an opportunity to do something else. And I'm working on new recordings and new albums and some stuff, so I can't complain. And I'm teaching online using, I don't know, these applications that we are using now. So it's like a big change, but I see many positive things regarding our work. I mean, it sucks. It's a fucking pandemic, it sucks. But other than that, the situation can be good, can be okay.
Yeah, so many people have died though too,
Yeah.
We are lucky to be alive, but how many people have in Argentina like 30,000, in Chile like 30,000. It's been a difficult year for everybody. Were you born like in a musical family? When you began, playing piano, guitar at the time?
No, well, no. My parents, both of them are doctors. No, I don't have a musical background in my family, but I started playing in high school because I wanted to play in a rock and roll band.
Oh.
And I remember clearly because I took my first lessons, piano lessons, in 1990 during the World Cup, Italy.
Wow.
So I remember that because I had a superposition of the class with the game against Russia, Argentina, Russia. So yeah, we have to move the schedule a little bit. And that was the beginning, I wanted to play in a band with my friends at school. And so I started taking lessons at that time. It took me a while, to understand how it works, music for me. It wasn't easy at the beginning. But well, with patience and the keyboard synthesizers, that was a place where I felt good and I had a chance to express some ideas and certain sound.
Did you have, when you finished high school, when did you realize that, well, music is going to be my thing and my career and I want to give it a try, versus your parents, both doctors telling you, no need, you need to study, go to medical school and music is a waste of time, you will not make any money. Was there a discussion with your parents about that kind of stuff?
A little
Or
bit,
not?
you know, a little bit. But when I finished high school, I was working, doing something else. I used to work in tourism. So it was like a period of time that I was doing both things, like working, doing something else, and studying music. So I think that was kind of a pain reliever for my parents in a way, you know. And then I was absolutely decided to keep going with the music, you know. For me at that time was very important I bought a synthesizer, a Korg 01W with a sequencer.
Yeah.
And using that sequencer, I could play my own recordings, you know, with 16 channels. It was like having in my place like a little orchestra or a band.
Yeah.
And that was very important for me to survive, you know, to the first 5 or 6 years of studying music that, you know, I have no idea. But, well, I wanted to do it, you know. When you have that instinct going in strong in one direction.
You do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of music were you at the time when you finished high school, and what kind of music, what kind of bands were you listening at the time?
Well, during high school, I went to school at the end of the 80s.
Yeah.
And then beginning of the 90s. So we had all that music going on, you know, 80s music that was great, good sound, good compositions, a lot of international music, but also music from Argentina.
Yeah.
After the military government that we had here until 1983, that was a very dark era for us. After that, it was a big explosion of music in Argentina, very big, you know, with festivals in the street for thousands of people and bands like Soda Stereo, Virus, Charly Garcia, Spinetta, and many talented musicians were pushing the music forward, you know, and we as kids at that time were absolutely amazing. Everything was amazing at that time. I think that's why I decided to be a musician, you know. And talking about bands, I don't know. Pescado Rabioso, it's an amazing band from Spinetta, Cerú Girán, que es Charly Garcia, music from here, and also international. All the 80s, Pink Floyd, music from the 70s too. The Doors, I'm a big fan of Ray Manzarek and that energy too. The Rolling Stones.
Of course.
Yeah.
All the big names, man. Yeah.
All the big names and music from the 60s like Beatles and Beach Boys, but also Brazilian music. I'm a big fan of Antonio Carlos Jobim and his melodic approach. It's amazing. And world music. So many things going on.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then you, as opposed to kind of soft rock, at the time you decided, well, I like kind of jazz. It's my kind of thing. You were inclined to do that kind of genre?
Yeah, well, jazz came later.
Yeah.
You know, after I went to school, musical school, I started listening to the CDs or emblematic albums, jazz. And for me, it was very shocking. You know, I love it from the first time because of the rhythm, the groove, the energy. the improvisation, the sound. So I started listening the records and trying to do some transcriptions to get it close or closer. And well, it took me a while. I went to school here in Buenos Aires, and after 4 or 5 years, I decided to move to Boston, to Berklee College of Music, to continue my studying there.
It was difficult to get accepted into the Berklee, or I know at the time, as we were talking before, I used to live there in Boston. At the time, it was difficult to.
No, not at that time. You know,
No.
At that time you had to apply or send a submission. That was the old school envelope with the application forms and maybe a cassette.
No.
But it was fine. Actually, at the time that I went to Berklee, many people from Argentina went there too, because the money change was peso, dollar was good too at that time. So it was easier to live and to make a living there in the States than now. For example, it's impossible right now, nowadays.
Unless you get like a scholarship or something, right? Unless you get like a scholarship, right? So it's otherwise it's very expensive to pay for it.
Definitely, yes, yes.
Well, so a lot of people from Argentina, well, people that you knew or before, or you just you met them?
Yes, some people that I knew, and then I met a lot of people there. And it's almost 20 years ago that I graduated from Berklee, and I'm still in touch here with all my friends from at that time, and all fantastic musicians. And we are like a community here, and we play gigs together. And it was a great spirit, a nice place to be at the end of the 90s and in Boston, studying jazz or music in general. You know, it was pretty cool, really nice.
Yeah, I have interviewed several people from Berklee, and I know the program well, so it's a very intensive program, and but you have the best teachers, you know, the very to be a teacher there, you need to be kind of very talented. Now with the technology it's different, right? But at the time, you know, was
it was very hard for me coming from Argentina. You know, it was a different level, and there I remember that for the 3 years I was there, I was studying and practicing the whole day through, and everybody else was doing the same. It was challenging, it was nice, really nice. I really appreciate that way of American universities approach the contents and the way they teach, like the whole staff of the college or the university. They know the program the same way. They try to communicate that, and in jazz, especially for jazz, that is like American most amazing music, maybe for me. They have many things to say, and it's nice to be there, like in the main kitchen of the music, starting with players, jazz players, you know. Suddenly you are surrounded by them, and it's pretty nice at that time of when you are young, you know.
Did you go to a lot of shows there? So many groups come to Boston, so we see a lot of concerts.
Especially for jazz, you know.
Yeah.
Especially for jazz, yeah. I saw many great musicians: McCoy Tyner, Keith Jarrett, Elvin Jones, Jazz Machine, Michael Brecker. It was pretty nice, pretty amazing. At that time, I was so involved with jazz that I didn't have the the time to go to other kind of concerts. Thing that I regret now, you know. For example, I missed Radiohead playing there.
Oh man.
99, 98, you know. But I didn't know they were playing in the city. I was practicing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, you are focusing one thing and you miss
You
the
mean the
rest
other
of the
stuff, right?
world.
And then when you finish school, right?
Yeah.
Instead of coming back to Argentina, to Buenos Aires, where your family is, you decided to venture and stay, and you moved to Chicago, right? So feel free to elaborate with why
Yeah,
that
well,
direction.
I had a friend in Boston, an American singer, vocalist, Steve Evans. He was a pretty cool guy, great singer, and he was a friend of mine at that time. We used to play some gigs around the area, and he said to me, "Man, you should come to Chicago, you know. I know some people, we can get some gigs. We put a band together. It's a nice city. We can work there." I say, okay,
Why
you
not?
know, why not?
Make some money.
Yeah, I went to the city. For me, it's an amazing city to
Yeah.
live, beautiful city, but also with an amazing musical scene, you know.
Mm.
So many musicians in Chicago, and with a lot of history and places, and so it was a great time. I lived there for 2 years. I had an amazing time. I met a lot of people, musicians, great experience. It's like my second city.
Really? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Do you go back
Yeah.
often? You go back to United
I
States?
went back a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 2018, I went back and I did a recording. I did an album there, playing trio with some musicians that I used to play before a long time ago. So yeah, I hope that I can keep going and to maintain that
Relationship.
thing
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago is very well known from jazz and blues. There are many clubs, many venues that you can, that just dedicate to jazz, you know. So
Yes, it is.
yeah, and then you at the time you end up releasing your first album, La Espuma de los Días. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I did that recording in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's my quintet. I did that recording in 2002.
Yeah.
And I was pretty close regarding the music with traditional jazz at that time. You know, my guide at that time was, I don't know, Blue Note Records.
Wow. Yeah.
ECM
record.
Yes, I was into that kind of sound with my own style.
Yeah.
Keeping the, you know, the style and the possibilities of each musician. But it was an amazing experience to do that recording there. After that, like 1 year later, I came back to Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
That recording for me was like the end of a cycle too.
Yeah. If you have the opportunity, will you have stayed here in the United States, or you were missing your family, parents, and?
You know, after 5 years of staying there, I was ready for a change.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I was ready for a change. I don't know. At that time, I didn't think that coming back to Buenos Aires was for a long time that is happening now. At that time, I felt that everything was possible, you know, to live here and there, it was easy. But also the September 11 situation was a pain in the ass, you know, for all the visa and all that kind of stuff was getting harder and harder every time. So I have to tell that situation didn't help at all. Yeah. But I came back to Buenos Aires and I felt good, you know, with the creative perspective about music. And I feel that renovation, so it was fine, you know, to come back. I put together another group, in this case a sextet, and I started writing music for that formation, and it was good, you know. And all the years after that, I had the chance to develop my music here. So I cannot say that I missed the chance of, at that time, of staying in America. Now, 20 years after that, well, you know, I would like to go back and forth, you know, like 2 months here, 3 months there, you know. Maybe in the future after pandemic times.
You will go back, yeah. Do you, and then you, you end up releasing your second album at the time, right? Buffalo, is that correct?
Yeah, and that's also a jazz album, but related with some folkloric Argentine music too.
Yeah.
Like I have the mix of folkloric stuff and some tango with jazz, and improvisation with more traditional composition. And I started playing piano rolls there, that album. I had the chance to buy Rhodes here in like 500 kilometers from Buenos Aires. I had a friend living in Santa Fe city, that it's another city from Buenos Aires in Argentina. And the guy called me, hey, I have a Rhodes here, piano Rhodes. Do you want to come to check it out? And that was a big change for me, to come back to electronic music after being focused on piano, jazz piano, for like more than a decade.
Yeah.
With that instrument, I start coming back to synthesizers and electric pianos.
And you like that? It was difficult to adjust, going from traditional piano to keyboard?
No, it was, I love it, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. I didn't know how it was a way of that work for so long, you know? For me, it was a surprise to feel good there. And after that, I start to dig in modern synthesizers. And the one that came after the Rhodes was the North Stage, that at that time, at the beginning, when it came out, it was a new release, was an amazing synthesizer. Now everybody uses that, you know, again, it's all over. Did you see that red synthesizer at the gigs? The red one?
No.
You see it, you know?
I need to check it out and look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it. What's the sound of those? How you pronounce it? The M-O-O-G, the Moog or Moog, how you pronounce it?
El Moog.
Yeah, you have access to any of that, or that was before you?
No, I had access to that kind of analogic synthesizers after many years of starting my electronic. I wasn't there when the analogic stuff came out. I was a child, you know, I didn't have a chance to check it out. But I use it now. I have some analogical stuff here, and it's pretty amazing, you know. The sound of that era came back, and now it's like the real stuff. It cannot be replaced in a way.
Yeah. A lot of people, famous recording, you know, came using that from people in the 70s and 80s, from, I don't know, Tangerine Dream, Wendy Carlos, and so many, many great albums that they use that, you know. But I'm quite sure that those equipment they're very expensive nowadays, right? And they're big, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, both. expensive and big. You know, it's hard to carry them to a gig.
Yeah.
So that's why nowadays we have these like smaller synths.
Smaller things, yeah.
Yeah, that are pretty good too, and very kind. You can play some analogical stuff too, but you can also carry to the gigs. I mean, I go by myself to play a gig. You know, I don't have some people carrying me the equipment. So
you do everything you know.
I have to balance between some equipment from the old times and some new stuff.
And then feel free to elaborate. I think also at the time you formed the, you created the project, the Real Book Argentina, right?
Yeah.
Feel free to elaborate what that is for the people that.
Real Book Argentina, that's a project that compilates, it's like a catalog of Argentine composers. There's a page called realbookargentina.com, and there you will find hundreds of scores of Argentine jazz composers. You know, that's a very open stylistic thing, and everything is there for free download.
Yeah.
And well, I decided to do that because here there is in Argentina a very rich and creative scene, musical scene, and instrumental scene too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to try to put all that music together in a book, to find that space to be all together and to be like a massive critic massive, you know, to push all together. So it's easier to visualize the music from Argentina in that way. Always through lead sheets, you know, written music. So you can print a lead sheet there and you can put it on your musical stand and read a composition. I don't know, for example, Guillermo Klein is an amazing composer who lives in New York, but he's from Argentina. Sergio Mianovich, a lot of great composers, you know. If you want to see something different from the usual and mainstream jazz, American jazz, Gershwin, Cole Porter, that is, everything is fantastic, but you have this, it's like another approach and from a different place, you know, Argentina.
Yeah, I get you. And that people buy, or they pay like a fee, or they can download and stuff?
No, you know, it's free download.
Free download, yeah.
Yeah, and also we have an ensemble called the Real Book Argentina Ensemble that we play everything, mainly music coming from that book.
I got you. Oh, that's great. Yeah. And,
yeah. So.
Yeah, and before the pandemic, before the pandemic, how many gigs were you doing, like a year, just in Buenos Aires, or you doing outside all over Argentina and some other places in Latin America, or just in Argentina?
Mainly all over Argentina.
Yeah.
Some places in Latin America too.
Yeah.
Depending on the year, maybe I was playing 30 or 40 gigs.
Wow.
Yeah, 25, depending on the year, you know, and the energy. And I play with my own projects, but I also play for another musicians.
Yeah.
So it depends. And now, well, the gigs are smaller, but it's starting to move again. The musical scene and the live concerts are coming back. So that's great news. During the last year, I had one big gig playing music from Astor Piazzolla.
Wow.
It's the anniversary, it's 100 years anniversary for Astor Piazzolla this year. So it's like a big celebration, not only in Argentina, but all over the world. And I had the chance to play like a big gig playing keyboards in Piazzolla Electric project.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. You know, with bandoneon, violin, percussion, guitar, a really nice group, but electric approach.
And
so,
then what is that? Was you saying this year or last year?
This year.
This year. Wow.
Yeah, and we are waiting to go on tour with that
correct,
electric group. It's coming, you know. We have to. We are here, coming down from the pandemic peak. It's slowly coming down, and we're supposed to be in a better shape for spring and summer.
Yeah, so toward the end of the
like
September, October, that area before.
Yeah, definitely. September, October should be everything. Yeah, coming back and opening spaces.
I got you. Are you a teacher as well? You're teaching, right?
Yeah,
Private lesson or like an institute?
Right now I'm doing private lessons.
Yeah, I got you.
I used to teach in schools too. Public school, private school, but not now. Yeah. I teach piano, music in general, composition, anything.
Yeah. And it's hard to make a living. Yeah, go ahead.
I also do some music for TV and documentaries or commercials, different stuff.
Really?
Here from my home studio, yeah.
Ah, very cool. Have you done any movie stuff related? Yeah, commercial movies or?
Yeah, well, last year, especially for documentaries.
Yeah.
And I love it, you know, that's pretty cool, especially if it's nature documentaries. Yeah. I work with some people that is very related with that. So the last two that I did, one called Chlorophilia, that you can find it in YouTube, Chlorophilia, and then another one called Inteligencia Animal. Yeah. It's pretty nice, you know, it's all about nature lovers trying to show the kids and, you know, the fresh minds to how to take care of nature. Yeah. And showing different species. It's pretty cool. Wow. It's nice to be part of it. Oh, absolutely. I need to check it out. I want to bring you, I was listening to some of your music, and I want to bring to your attention to a couple of tracks. The one's called Tatami. And feel free to elaborate how the composition come together. From the album El Sapo Argentino de Boca Ancha. That's a beautiful composition. I really like that. Yeah, well, that's a composition. You know, it's a very melodic song, kind of touchy, instrumental. Yep. I play Rhodes piano, Rhodes there. And I play with Pipi Piazzolla on drums. Wow. Who's Astor Piazzolla grandson. Yep. Amazing drummer, great musician, and Matias Mendez on bass, another great musician from here. He used to play with Luis Alberto Spinetta. Wow. Yes, he's God for us, you know. So that's a nice composition. It's an extended composition. There's like an A section that is major and kind of bright and full of light, and then you have a darker section that is a kind of storm, musical storm that goes through. I don't know. Check it out. You know, it's Tatami. You can get it any digital platforms. Yeah. I want to, as I was telling before, I like the real thing. I mean, I want to touch it. Well, like CD sign and more. I like that and vinyl more than the digital, right? If I have no choice, right, I will download the digital, but I like to have the real thing, so I can take it to the car, work, or whatever, you know. Yeah, definitely. Then I send you some copies. Yeah, that would be great. And the other thing, the other track that I really like was Universo Parallelo.
from the album Pájaro de Fuego. Feel free to elaborate that. That's a beautiful, different piece, but it's good.
Well, that's you know, I did the Ensamble Argentino de Boca Ancha. That's a trio. I play trio. I play Rhodes, keyboard. Then after that, I went back to synthesizers,
Gotcha.
and I was talking with my band, with the guys, and I told them, guys, I want you to remember when you were kids or young guys, you know, when you go to the club, dance club.
Yeah.
To listen, you know, to dance music, and let's try to elaborate a dance set, but playing live.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do with Universo Parallelo, Parallel Universe.
Yeah.
Like we start to try developing like a groove, staying there, dancing groove, and trying to move it slower and adding little things, you know, and trying to generate a climax, you know, to put tension, and then explode the music and to make the people feel like they are dancing, you know, in the dance club.
Sure.
So that was the main goal. I don't know if it was something that we tried to do, especially at the gigs at that time.
Yeah. Do you miss touring and playing live in front of people? Do you miss that kind of stuff?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I do. Even if I'm enjoying this time of the situation, you know, working on my studio and developing my sound here, but yeah, I do, definitely. But I think that I will come back. I hope that, you know, I try to make it better, because it was a nice time to think about the music and the way that you approach my set, my keyboards, the sound. I don't know. Yeah, I look forward to come back to play gigs, you know, to stay in touch, especially with my friends, musicians, and the people.
Yeah. Looking back looking back at your career, is any memorable concert venue that you remember and you say, man, that night everything works great. Everybody played great. The lighting was good. The atmosphere was good. People were very happy. One or two that you can remember in your life that were, can be in Argentina, can be outside Argentina, any
Yeah,
place.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, you know, you feel it when everything is right and
Yeah.
you are going through like stairways to a kind of heaven, you know. Yeah, it can, but that feeling may happen, you know, like in small gig, in small bar playing for 10 people, you know. That's the night you feel good and the ideas are coming. And yeah, I remember some of them. I mean, you're always expecting some inspiration
Yeah.
to hit you when you play a gig.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a big theater
Or small one, right?
or small one, definitely.
I remember
But
that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, we play some kind of cool gigs here in Argentina. We share concerts with my group with Screaming Headless Torsos. That's an American band that is pretty cool, amazing groove and sound. And that was a great night with a full audience. And some other big gigs, you know, playing small, big venues, big theaters here for a lot of people. That's exciting too.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know if you've been in this play, but it's a famous play. Of course, you know, it's not that far from Berklee. It's in Mass Ave. It's a jazz small place, like maybe like 40 people. It's a bar. I don't remember. It's on the corner. I forgot. Mass Ave and something else. It's very famous. Every you know, people. Some of the people started their career playing at including Pandecini play there. You know.
Yeah, I remember it was a big jam session there.
Yeah.
Or at least once or twice a week.
Yeah.
And many groups playing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's Boston, you know.
You know.
You can find an amazing piano player who maybe did a recording playing with the Jazz Messengers. I don't know, you know, a big guy playing in a hotel.
Wow.
And that's the way it is, you know, or a restaurant.
Yeah.
Who's playing while you are eating your salad, you know? Maybe some guys that are part of the history of jazz. And in Chicago too, you know? And I remember in Chicago a couple of really cool jam sessions too. It's a nice place to be and to learn.
Yeah.
To check it out and to listen.
Yeah.
The cats playing, you know.
With a lot of snow in the ground.
Yeah, definitely cold.
Yeah.
Cold as hell.
Yeah, cold hell. Yeah, I remember I interviewed Paul Vertigo from Pan Metheny group when he lives in Chicago. Actually, we became very good friends with Pedro Snar was with Pan Metheny at the time, and it's so many good players in Chicago, so many venues, so many jazz in the blues scene and jazz scene in on the south side of Chicago, on the north side. There are many beautiful venues, man.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a great city, you know, and still you have so many musicians coming out, especially from the experimental scene.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite, you know. I mean, for me, music has to be experimental. You have to try to find out something in a way, assert your sound or a language. I mean, even the big guys, the mainstream guys like the Beatles, at the end of the 60s, they were doing experimental albums. Yeah. Sgt. Pepper or Magical Mystery Tour. I mean, it's not a band playing easy music. In a way, at that time, they were crossing borders and frontiers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what is coming up for you in the near future? Are you working on a new album? You have something that you're going to be releasing soon with the trio or with the other band that you play?
Well, what is coming? It's an album in duo with a friend of mine called Gustavo Musso. He's an amazing saxophone player.
Yeah.
But this time, he's not playing saxophone, but he's playing a kind of electronic saxophone called the EWI. EWI.
Yeah. Wow.
And I play synthesizers.
Yeah.
And the idea of the album is that we play jazz standards through an electronic vision. I play synthesizers and loops and different stuff, and he plays this EWI, and this is coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
We finished the album yesterday, Saturday. Wow. Yeah, yesterday. We are all set with that, so we have to put some art together, and maybe in a couple of months it's going to be available.
Yeah. Are you going all the stuff you're doing? You going to a record label in Buenos Aires, or you do self-release?
Well, I work with a small record label here, but it's not so small that it's called Club del Disco.
Yeah.
So I did the last 6 or 7 albums that I did. I released the albums with them.
Yeah.
So I'm planning to do the same. You know, even if I'm not really happy with all the digital platforms, you know, that's a pain in the ass for musicians.
With the Bandcamp, the whatever, the Spotify.
Well, Bandcamp is one of the good ones, but the rest of the platforms, especially Spotify, you know, that's a pain in the ass. I don't like the format, the way they present music, but it's really, really hard to sell CDs you know, the music, I mean, the physical format is fading. It's fading. I don't know what is going to happen in the future. So we have to, it's not easy to make a decision and to put your music outside of the digital platforms.
Because even 500 CDs or vinyl will not be that easy, right?
No, because the CD players are, are
going away.
All destroyed. Yeah, you have to find the right piece to replace. Yeah. So I don't know what is going to happen with that. You have the vinyl situation that is coming back a little bit, but it's still small portion of the people, the music lovers, that can do it.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah.
I call them, Spotify like the digital cemetery for music.
Yeah.
But we have to put the energy in the music.
That's right. Yeah.
In the music, in the inner work,
Yeah.
Fuck them all, I'm gonna keep working, developing my sound, and sooner or later the digital platforms will fall down too, But for us, for the musicians, they are not making us any favors or any good things. That's my point of view. I have some friends, some colleagues, they don't give a shit. They say, okay, man, relax. You don't have to put so much energy there. But I don't know. What do you think about it?
My opinion that, so there's, I still buy a lot of vinyl, right? I do. I have, like I told you before, a big music collection, and I buy vinyls on a weekly basis, right? And I buy a lot of CDs, right? It's true that the CDs and then on the vinyl, there's a smaller number of people that could afford that because they're more expensive and have the equipment. Digital format, very likely. I don't think it's going away because they're, especially for the young people, right? They grew up without a CD player, without vinyl or whatever, or turntable. The issue that I have there that young people are very impatient, right? They listen 10 seconds, they go to the next file, the next file, the next file. As if they don't enjoy the stuff, For me, I want to open the CD, take a look at the picture, who play and the stuff, or open the vinyl and they have sometimes different picture, or I can see who play in the stuff, and opening something and I'm forced to listen the vinyl one side and then turn around and listen to the other side. It's a different experience, it's like owning a book, right? In a PDF form versus owning a book, Of course, not everybody could afford books and real books and could afford, good expensive, but that's my opinion. I don't know what's going to happen, with down the road, but as an artist, in Bandcamp, you get paid very decent. I think the company take only 10%, and the other 90%, the company takes 10%, the other 90% go to the artist. So, which is very fair, right? In Spotify, you need to have like a million hits a month or something to get a check for $10. So you will not make any money on Spotify. And Spotify will allow you as an advertising way to people, people get to know your music. I can go, for me, it's great because I can go to Spotify and, put a name and listen to the whole thing, And then when I like something, then I will go to Spotify, make an interview with someone and buy the CDs. I send them an email or download the files. And so for me, Spotify is a great way to search for artists. But for your point of view, right? You guys don't make any money, even 50,000 hits or a month still is nothing because you get paid like a 0.006 cents. So a lot of people take a lot more money before they go to the art. There are many layers. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. The problem is in the middle. You have always
too many people, right?
making money there.
The company, the record label, whoever put the stuff, whoever uploaded the music. So the artist gets, a penny.
Yeah. Well, but that's why the pandemic was so, in a way, so interesting.
Yeah.
To see what happened to the inner music and how and then the way you show your music outside,
Absolutely.
and to try to separate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for us, that we are like instrumental musicians and very experimental stuff. I mean, we are not mainstream.
Yeah.
Where you put your energy,
If the music is good, people will find it and pay for it, Plus, you get paid as an artist. You don't make any money. They just CDs or vinyl, but when you tour, you need to tour a lot. Do a lot of concerts, and then that's why you get paid. When you tour, playing live for people.
Yeah.
Used to be that. Pat Metheny used to, I don't know, get a check every month, and Pedro Aznar, all the big names, but no anymore. Like you say, people don't buy stuff, so you get paid when you play and play live, and unfortunately with the pandemic you cannot play live. So you need to the budget that was this. Now your budget is a lot smaller, and still have the same bills and credit cards to pay. So it's tough, man.
Yeah. Well, for me, another question is if the music is going to be like a digital cemetery with the young people, checking 10 seconds of each song, like moving, scrolling all the time, the cell phones, and people getting blind with the cell phones.
Yeah.
Or maybe in a couple of decades, people will get in touch again with, I don't know, with nature and with the sounds of nature, and to try to put music again more in a ritualistic way, like part of life.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, we hope so, man. We hope so. That will be, for the next, especially for the young kids that, they're so used to the phones like that, going next without even, they're going so fast, right? They listen 10 seconds for a song, no, next. No, that's a crazy way to go to life. I'm not like that. So I like to listen to stuff, whatever, get a beer, get a glass of water on a Friday or Saturday night and put my headphone and really listen to stuff. So that's a good. Well, Esteban, that was, we've been here like an hour. It was very, very nice talking to you. Keep up the good work, man. I will send you an email shortly with the link to the interview. And then definitely I want to get your music. And when I'm in Buenos Aires soon, I hope we can get together with Ulises and Sammy and all the people, go to dinner or beer or whatever, man, and listen to some good music, man.
Definitely,
Claudio. Get some good carne, good asado.
Yeah, for you, for you, I'm a vegetarian, but you can get it, man.
Are you a vegetarian, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I like both, but I like steak, man. I like,
that's
okay.
And, That's okay. I feel lately, I feel bad for the animals,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm done with it. I had to take a break, but I understand, man. Asado was amazing. I remember.
And a good beer or Chilean wine.
Yeah, definitely. When you come here, man, we'll do it with Ulises and Sammy. We have some beers and some wine and
get together
and listen to some physical,
of course,
CDs or vinyls.
Okay, man. Esteban, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will be in touch very soon, man. Have a good afternoon, man. And good luck for Argentina that I won yesterday, man.
Yeah, man. Finally, man.
Finally.
Messi.
Yeah.
We are very happy today.
Yeah, of course. And then at 3 p.m., Italy versus England. It's going to be a very good game.
Very good game.
Yeah.
Today I go with Italy.
Yeah. They're playing very good, but England is very, very good. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, take it
We'll
easy, man.
see.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.